I was thinking last night as we get into the draft week, what my draft week was like and how nervous I was. I couldn't sleep any of these nights leading up to the draft. And, it's a change of life. It's a life dream. It's just everything that you could have ever hoped for as an athlete. Now, unfortunately, I didn't go as high as I thought I was going to go. I didn't go until the 38th pick. Remember, there were only 28 teams back when I was drafted in 84, so I was the 10th overall pick in the second round. And two of my teammates got drafted before me in the first round. And I'll never forget the University of Maryland. We had a press conference set up and everything. It was very nice of my teammates to wait for me before we got to the press conference. And unfortunately, the press conference was dominated with, why do you think you fell? Why do you think you fell? Why do you think you fell? And, I did have a chip on my shoulder. You're talking about Tom Brady having a chip on his shoulder, having to wait until the sixth round. Well, some of us even had chips on their shoulders bigger than that and only waiting until the second round.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, even though you have guys that are at the top of this draft that everybody thinks, are can't-miss guys, you don't know. You're still dealing with human beings. And, the interesting thing, I saw Peter King put out something this morning from NBC Sports. He was saying that one of the interesting things about the Joe Burrow to the Bengals draft pick come Thursday night is the fact that Josh Rosen, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, is still younger than Joe Burrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, and Josh Rosen has already been through hell and back in the NFL, yes, being drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, then moving on from him, drafting Kyler Murray, going down to Miami, getting an opportunity to play, doesn't work out. Ryan Fitzpatrick is there, and now they're going to draft another quarterback. I mean, what his career is going to be is just a mystery to me. But as far as, quarterbacks falling in this draft, which is an interesting thought, I mean, we know Joe Burrow's not going to fall. We understand that. Tua might fall. He may. There may be a chance that Tua ends up falling. Now, Justin Herbert, will he fall? Will he get past Miami? I don't think Miami passes on either Tua or Justin Herbert. But if you predict one of these quarterbacks to have his Aaron Rodgers moment where everybody's staring at him in the green room, I guess it would probably be Tua because of the injuries. But, I mean, that's very, very hard to predict right now.
Well, the good news for Tua is that there's not going to be a green room. But although I would imagine ESPN and NFL Network will be cutting to him as if he is dropping, I don't know. But listen, Dan Marino dropped, Aaron Rodgers dropped. A lot of guys have dropped in the history of the draft. And if Tua drops, it wouldn't surprise me. I hope he doesn't. I think he's a terrific kid. I think he's a terrific football player. I think he's all about football. That's the thing that I love most about him, that and his accuracy. I hope all the injuries are behind him. I hope wherever he goes to a stable situation, much like Patrick Mahomes did when the Kansas City Chiefs traded up to get him. And when I think about, Patrick Mahomes and how he sat behind Alex Smith for a year, got to play the one game at the end of the year where it didn't matter, played well against the Denver Broncos, it was obvious to everybody in that organization that he was the guy that was going to take over the next year, and he certainly did. And he hasn't had a bad game since. As a matter of fact, maybe the worst game he played were the first three quarters against that San Francisco defense in last year's Super Bowl, but has not had a bad game ever in the NFL, which is amazing. I don't know if that's going to be the case with any of these kids, but I do know one thing about Tua Tagovailoa, and that is that he is a terrific, terrific young man. He's a high-character guy. He loves playing football. He's extremely accurate. The question, and I hate when they use the word brittle, especially when it comes to a football player and a quarterback, I just hope all of that brittleness, if you will, is past him and he gets off to a great start to his young career.